Hi everyone, it's Maggie, and I realized it's been like 4 weeks since I've done a video or have done much crafting. Um, just seem to be in a kind of a slump that trying to work my way out of. So I thought I'd start a new journal. I got some beautiful images from Patty Lang, Sacred Mementos, and I wanted to put them in a journal. And so I made the cover last week, and I took a few pictures and put them in the Sacred Mementos group and Crafty Me Shop group because I planned on using it as a design team project for Crafty Me Shop. And so I took photos of the cover, wasn't sure about a couple of things, and asked for opinions. And then this morning I got up and I just said, you know what, you just got to try to do something. I've been watching videos for weeks. I've been reading. I do a lot of reading. And I keep saying every day, okay, I'm going to go to my table. I'm going to do a little crafting, and I don't. So last week, when I decided what I was going to do, I started the cover. And the cover is actually a cover that Patty had sent me, and the top of it was quilting, and it wasn't going to go with what I was trying to achieve. So I covered it with muslin, and then I added some wide laces in the background, which are these. I put 2 pieces, and did I put 3? No, I put 2. They're really wide, so 2 fit on there pretty well. It'll probably be easier to show you on the back. So I had done that, and then I added this trim here, and then this trim over it, because this color is in the image I'm using for the cover. And then there's some lilac in there, so I added this trim on the bottom and the top. And if I turn it around, this is the image, and it's absolutely just gorgeous. And I had added these flowers. These are from a trim. This is from appliques that I cut out, these 2 little pieces here. And then I added a bunch of blue flowers that I thought went. And like 10 years ago, I had made this little, and I've taken it apart, so you're not even going to recognize it. But I had, well, on this side, it's white. So I had this white wooden fence piece, and then I had this Prima frame, which was white. I didn't do anything to it at the time. I added that here. I added like a peach rose in there, and then along here I added some little white flowers with my white and pink little tiny clay flowers. And then after I showed it, oh, and I had these 2 metal corners, and I had put one here and one here. And I said, yes, yay or nay to the corners. Well, I ended up saying nay, because the more I looked at it, the more I realized, no, they just don't really go. A couple people had said yay, and there were a couple that really weren't sure, but I nixed that idea. So anyway, the more I looked at it, number one, the blue, and I can show you how blue they were, because here's a couple of them. I ended up taking all the flowers off, and oh, wait a minute, that's tango. Okay, this is the color. Now they went as far as because they were in a cluster, yes, they looked okay. But when I opened up the inside and all there was this quilted fabric here, I went, and then I made a signature and I'm looking at these colors and it's like, yeah, there's these colors and there's this color. There's no like blue. So I just, no, I have to start over. Well, not start over from the beginning. But anyway, oh my gosh, I've been talking for 5.5 minutes already. Well, anyway, I don't know if I'll use this. I'm going to make a new little corner piece, and I had it here. And I may end up putting it back there. I just don't know. But I had taken my walnut stain, I think it was, or maybe it was espresso, and I covered it, the fence. And then I had taken, what's the name of that one? Hickory smoke. And it has that same greenish, sagey color in there. So if I do use it, that's what those will look like. So I kept these flowers here. And there's this ribbon is, it's almost like a pale pinky lilac. So you can, it goes, but I thought with the 2 strands, it may be a little too much. So this is what I thought I would do. So I'm going to work a little more on this, the cover, and then what I thought I would do is I took out a bunch of trims in that and make maybe like a couple of pockets inside and do some trims on the edges of the pages. And you'll have to bear with me. I've been experiencing brain fog for a while now. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's not going away. It's not getting any worse, but it's almost like I have to stop to think of what I'm going to say sometimes. So I hope anybody with, the patience can watch, because it's not easy, and for some people it can probably be kind of aggravating actually. But I had this trim here, and it's Crafty Me Shop, and I thought what I would do to break it up, because I don't like being I don't know if this is symmetrical. I don't like being symmetrical. I don't like being matchy. So when I was finished with this, it was almost like, who did this? But anyways, I was thinking of putting this down the bottom. And I know I'm hiding the ribbon, but I think that's okay. So, yeah. And then I got out a couple of, to fill in some of the spots where I had taken the blue flowers off. I have this little piece, and this is from a really large applique that I've had for a long time. And I was thinking of putting that there. And then I have this applique, and I'm going to cut a couple of pieces, and I was thinking of putting this down here, cutting this off, and maybe using this up here. So we'll see. So anyways, that's my thought process, and I think that's what I'm going to do right now. And I'm just hoping, that this is enough to get me back on track. And let's see, before I do that, I'll show you what I did on the inside. So the inside was just this batting. Or quilting, rather, not batting, quilting. And I took this trim here and just went all around it. And then I went in my box of I call them skinny trims, for lack of a better word. And I found this one and I thought, wow, that's really strange that it does match. So I went around in the middle because it's one of those like kind of gathered trims that and it's a little stretchy, not a lot, but it was stretchy enough so that there's like a band there that I wanted to hide, a stretchy band. So that's why I added this trim. And then I had this beautiful embroidered trim. I wanted to make 2 pockets. So that's what I did. And I did that before I put those on, obviously. So that's the inside. And then this is my signature. And there's not a lot of pages. I think there might be 50 pages maybe, or 52. But once I start embellishing, it's going to get a lot wider. So that's going to go here. It'll have a hidden spine. And I just think it goes better with the cover. And if you like, when you leave a comment, you can let me know what you think. All right, so I'm going to add this trim first. I should have ironed it, but oh, it goes this way. All right. I know I should have ironed it, but I didn't. It'll hang anyway. Once and I can always, I have one of those little tiny flat irons, you know, for like, I needed a new flat iron a couple of months ago, and I was looking on Amazon and I found one, but then I saw this little one for really short hair, and it was only like $11. So I said, well, I'm going to get that one too, and I'll use it for my trims when I don't want to take out my iron. So yeah, so that's only, I just haven't used it yet. All right, let me move this a little bit so I can get to my, okay, I've got to move this down. That's why it's like that. My glue gun. All right, so let's put this down. And I know you're basically just going to see me gluing stuff down, I guess, but at least hopefully you'll understand my thought process, or maybe it's even lack of a thought process. Yeah, so when I looked and I saw that I hadn't done a video in a month, I was like, how could it be a month already? I felt like I had just finished. It was a book of pockets. I had just finished it, but no, it was a month ago. And okay, why was I going with that? Where was I going with that? Oh, so yeah, I just figured if I'm gonna craft, I'll just turn on the camera and do a craft with me. Not that you have to craft, but so yeah, so 2 weeks ago, my granddaughter graduated from high school, and oh my gosh. So the weather said it was going to be in the low 70s. It was going to be cloudy all day, and the graduation is always on the football field. No shade, you know, or anything, but I thought, well, it doesn't matter because there's going to be no sun, right? Well, the sun did come out, and it was started at 11. At 10 o'clock, the sun did come out, but it wasn't that hot yet. It was probably closer to mid 70s. So I thought, well, you know, then they can't be accurate down to the degree. So I had on a long skirt, sandals, and it was kind of like a sweater top, but it wasn't a like a winter one. So by the time we got to the high school, it was like 80, and I thought I had brought a water bottle and all that, and I was supposed to sit on the field because they, family, they allow 5 family members on the field, and my daughter wasn't going to be because she was the 6th one. And so I said to my daughter-in-law, I'm going to go sit with Angela in the bleachers because I think it's going to be worse in the sun, down on the field. And she said, okay. So Angela and I went to the bleachers and we got a front row seat. And what did I do with this here? Okay. And so they started so they, eventually, we got there early, obviously. Eventually, the seniors filed in to sit down on the field, and Angela and I are sitting there, and then they started speeches. And I forget how many were graduating, but there were 2 pages of names. And I kept getting hotter and hotter, and I didn't say anything to my daughter, but she could tell at one point, just before they were going to start calling names and giving out the diplomas, she said, Mom, she goes, are you okay? And I said, Ange, I am so hot. I go, I don't know what to do. And she said, well, there's trees, behind the bleachers there. She said, why don't you, go down there for a little while and, sit and cool off a little bit. Take your water with you. And at first I wasn't going to, and then I said, yeah, I am, because Maddie's, last name is like mine, White, and she was like 5th from the last that was going to get her diploma, so I knew it would be a while. Well, let me tell you, I went down there just at the right time, because by the time I got down there and I'm looking on the side, there are trees, but there's a fence. So the trees are behind the fence. There's no shade, and there's what am I going to do? So I did walk around behind the bleachers, and there was the shade, and I just thought, oh, thank you. So I just plopped down on the grass, and I sat there for like a good half an hour just trying to feel okay. I think I got heat stroke. I'm not sure, obviously, but, or I was close to it anyway. I'm going to have to flat iron this later. So I kept the, the paper that had everybody's name and everything with me, and I'm listening to them because they were right in front of us. And when it got down to when they started, I think it was when they started the S's, I thought, okay, you're gonna have to get up and go, because I wasn't going to miss her getting her diploma. So I slowly got up and I walked around to the side, but I thought, no, I'm not going back up on the bleachers. And poor Angela, she kept looking over, and then she finally saw me, and I gave her a thumbs up because I didn't take my phone with me, and so she had no way. So afterwards she said, Mom, I didn't know if you were okay, or if you, or what happened to, I was so afraid something happened to you back there. And I said, no, I was fine. Once I got in that shade, I was fine. It just took me a little while to, feel okay again, because I was almost getting nauseous. Well, I probably was getting nauseous. And so, excuse me. So I was able to see her get her diploma, and then they ended it. Once somebody did one more short speech, and then it was done. And so once everybody was getting off the bleachers, I went up to Ange and I said, I'm going to leave the football field and I'll go out, by the parking lot. And luckily I went through the gate and there was a bench under the shade, under a tree, and nobody was sitting there. And I went right over to it. And I just sat there till everybody was done, saying hi and bye to everybody. And so, yeah, that was graduation day. And they do it like this every year. I don't know. And the thing is that I felt so bad. There was another grandmother there, and I don't know who she was, or, oh shoot, I just cut that wrong. That's all right. That's what happens when you're talking and not paying attention. So she passed out, and they had to call an ambulance. And all I could think of was, I felt so bad for the lady, but all I could think of was, I'm so glad, that I didn't get to that point, because all I could think, and I kept saying to myself, don't pass out, the kids will be embarrassed. That's all I could think about, is if I pass out, my kids are going to be embarrassed. So anyways, I can't even believe I'm telling you this story, but I don't know what else to talk about. So then, that's not the end of, so that was okay. So Maddie decided, because so many of her friends were having, their party on that day, she decided to have it Sunday, 2 days ago. And she invited all her friends and family members, a lot of us haven't seen, because of, ever since COVID and that, and just, everybody has their lives going on and all that. So, so my daughter-in-law and my son had been working on the yard for like weeks, and they ordered a tent, a big tent, and tables and chairs. And they had a smaller, like, overhead tent, more like a gazebo. It just covered the top, right? I mean, there were no sides to it or anything. And they had a couple of those. So it did say that the highest the temperature was going to be would probably be like in the high 60s. And it looked like, it said there was a chance of rain, but it only showed a chance of rain for like an hour, like around, I thought it said 1 o'clock. And it was a brunch, so it was starting at 11, it was going to 4. Well, the kids went out there at 10 to start setting up with, what do you call it? Setting up the chairs around the tables. And Rebecca had been cooking for a few days, and she started, setting up the food table with some of the, and most of the food was hot. And so she had those trays, and underneath you put the, I don't know, I forget what you call it. What do you call, I forget, the sterno cups, to keep everything warm. And didn't it start pouring? It started pouring. When I say pouring, I'm not exaggerating at all. It was downpours. And 11 o'clock comes around. Maybe it was closer to 11:30, and I thought, it's still pouring. It's only in the 50s, low 50s. And I thought, well, you got to get out there because people are going to start coming. And some are, you know, I didn't know all our friends, but family members were coming. Excuse me. And so I put on a sweater and I went out, and yeah, it was pouring. I ran to the side, and it was all in the side yard. I ran to the side yard. Well, I probably didn't run because, yeah, at my age, I don't do running anymore, but I walked really fast. And, I mean, I didn't get soaked, but I was wet. But it was dry, you know, under the tents. But it was so cold that by noontime or 1 o'clock, you could see your breath in the air. That's how cold it got. And, but everybody was having a really good time. And my son had started he has a big fire pit off to the side. He started that knowing that the kids would want to sit around that. And he had put a big, huge umbrella over it so that, you know, they would basically stay dry. And then he has a gas, like, fire pit type of thing that he usually keeps up on their deck, and he had brought that down. And so he started that, and some of us were able to sit around that to stay warm. But anyway, and then it was like, I don't know, either 2:30, 3 o'clock, it finally stopped raining, but it was pouring the whole time. It didn't let up, and then it stopped raining, and then the sun came out, and then it warmed up, and everybody stayed, you know, till, not everybody, but a lot of them, especially family members, stayed till the end, and then some of Maddie and Mason's friends stayed even longer than that, you know, outside of the fire pit. So it was a really good day, and everybody had fun. And they laughed about the rain. They were really, you know, good about that. And luckily we had the tent, so nobody was getting, like, soaked while they were sitting there. So anyways, long story long, oh my gosh, almost a half an hour. So anyways, yeah. So now that's over, and I'm hoping I can get back to crafting. All right, so I'm not done. I have other things. And if I do that fence, it's not going to go on to the last minute because it's going to be too bulky. And when I turn it over to do some of the pages, because I'll do some of them, and then I'll attach it to the cover, and then I'll do the rest of it while it's attached. And that's how I usually do it. So I won't put that on until the end, because otherwise it won't lie flat enough. And then I was thinking I'll probably add pearls, but I won't do that either because they won't be flat back. And yeah, I'm not sure what else I'll do to this, but I'll do something, and maybe some of my clay flowers on the green. But anyways, that's what I've done so far, and I'm going to leave it at that for now. So I'm going to put that to the side, and I won't be on much longer. I'll just do a couple of things. So yeah, so that's been my life. But my gosh, this brain fog is like, it's hard to concentrate. Here's some of the other images I'm going to use. It's hard to concentrate. I'll be talking, and then I can't think of what I want to say next, or I'll forget what I'm going to say. So yeah, that's real. And if it doesn't go away soon, I'll be having to talk to my primary care just to I know there's nothing you can do about brain fog, but at least I don't think there is. So anyways, I'm going to try to use these in a couple different ways. I'll do some collaging on a couple of pages and maybe use them for tuck spots, or I'll do, and maybe for journaling cards. I'll try to do another video doing that though. So I did take out trims to put on like the sides. So let me see. I have this. I got this a couple weeks ago from Crafty Me Shop. And I think everything I'm going to use is basically, all I have left now mainly is Crafty Me Shop, except for I do have a suitcase full of vintage and antique pieces. But yeah, that's basically all I have now. So I'll probably do a couple of trims on the edges of the pages. I really like this too, though. This is pretty. I'm wondering, should I put one on this? Maybe I should put on this one. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll put it on this one. Even though it won't be flush as far as I'm going to cut it, though. That's okay. So, all right, I'm going to put that up there, up here where so I'll remember that I already used it. Make sure I'm on the right. Although this is one of those that's hard to tell which side it should be on. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the correct side. So maybe I'll do it a little off so that they both, yep, okay, like that. All right, so I think instead of using hot glue, I'm going to use some glitter glue, art glitter glue. If I can get it to work. It's been so long since I've used it. And our pollen count is super high right now, so, and out back is a jungle. Basically, it's all conservation land. You can't touch it, so it just grows wild. But yeah, it's not good for allergies. So I'm just full of happy news. Oh my gosh, is anybody's like crying right now or feeling depressed listening to me, or saying, or maybe like ready to shut me off, like, oh my gosh, I can't listen to her anymore. Right, okay, there we go. Okay. All right, that's a little more than I wanted to use, but that's okay. It dries clear. Yeah, clumsy's part of it too, I guess. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of videos trying to keep up with some of the ones that I'm subscribed to. I don't often leave a comment, but I do watch. I like getting new ideas, inspiration. I just got through watching one of Laura, who is, oh my gosh, Shabby Chic. She's on the DT for Crafty Me Shop, and she just made a gorgeous stick pin needle book, and she just inspired me. I want to make one. Not exactly like hers, but it's nice when you get inspired like that. I keep going. I go to Pinterest once in a while, but I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm typing in the wrong words or whatever, but I don't get a lot of inspiration from Pinterest. Once in a while, I see something, and I'll pin it because otherwise I totally forget about it. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't get a lot of inspiration. This art glitter glue works really well when you're putting fabric on paper. It takes a while, at least for me. I find it takes a while if you're doing fabric to fabric. I'd rather use Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1 or hot glue. So that's usually what I use if it's fabric to fabric. But fabric to paper, if you're gluing something on a glassine bag, yeah, I like that. But I think I'm still going to put something on the side there. Just not sure. I don't think I want to do 2 of those. Let me see what a different one would look like. What do I have? I don't want anything like too busy. It has to be, let me see this one, maybe. I have a ton of this one. No. Okay, I'm not sure. I may end up using this again, but I'm not positive, so I'm going to leave that for now. And, all right, do I want to do anything else to this page? I don't know if I want to add an image or not. All right, let's look at another page, see what else is going on. And most of the papers I used are from Louise. Louise Fraser. Oh my gosh. She does the most amazing paper dyeing. Whenever she sells on Patty's channel, usually it's on a Thursday night, once a month or something like that, I try to grab at least 1 or 2 different packs. The colors she ends up coming out with are just amazing. What was I going to do? I have this. I got this trim a couple of weeks ago too, and I love this. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. But I don't want to. Let's cut a piece off. It's one of those, though, that grabs your material. So I'm putting that up there. But I kind of, because whatever else I do to this page, I still have all this area here. So I think I am going to put that down. I really like that. But let me just check to see if there's another page that I might like it even more. This one might be a better page. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. So let's tack this down. Okay, so let's put that like right there. So I'm just going to tack down the flowers for now, and then I can go back to the edges and do some of that. Oop. I didn't leave it on there long enough. Okay, back you go. Okay, but add another little dot of that. So this needs to dry for like a minute. Where are we? 41 minutes. Yeah, that's heading to be a long time. I don't like to go much past that, especially if all I'm basically doing is gluing stuff down. I don't want to, I try not to do stuff that would bore everybody. So I think what I'll do is my next video, I'll make some ephemera instead of just doing this, you know, gluing stuff down. And this, look at this. Look at the writing. It's just beautiful. And so I have all these. I used like 3 or 4 different kits of Louise's, you know, couple pages from each dyeing kit. And then all these backgrounds are from Patty Lang, Sacred Mementos. And oh, they just went so well with what I had in mind for this journal. So that, and this page here, and they're double, you know, double-sided. So that's nice. And look at, there's more writing there. The writing really gets me every time. And then here's a ledger page. And this one, Patty printed the background. But can you see the writing? And I think the background is wallpaper, but from her wallpaper stash, but I'm not positive. Now look at here's more handwriting. I can't read it, but it's just beautiful. So there's the middle page, and then there's just more. This is the other half of the rest of it, what I already showed you. So yeah. All right, so I think that should be dry enough. So I think I'll probably stop here because it's almost 45 minutes. So I would probably like to stop at 45 minutes. And like I said, I'll do make some embellishments for my next video. So this will go inside there. Oh, and I did take this out because I'm going to take This is a trim by the yard. I'm going to take some of these little flowers here and I'll put them in between. But I didn't do that on camera because, as you can see, I've got to do a lot of gluing behind it so that I don't lose these little pieces. Otherwise, they'll just fall right off. There's seed beads. There's rind. There's pearls, and there's sequins. So yeah, so I'll do that off camera. But in the next video, I'll show you exactly what I did after, after this one being done. All right, so I am going to say goodbye. Thank you if you stayed to the end and just listened to my endless chatter. And I would love it if you'd leave a comment and let me know what you think. And yeah, hopefully in a couple of days I'll want to sit here and do this again, and I'll make some ephemera for it. So thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.